Hello guys, welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Kensthetic with the Kensthetics, and I'm here with you guys today with a new video. So today's video is going to be my Panama travel guide. As you guys may or may not know, I did travel to Panama City, Panama for my 28th birthday. I know y'all are probably looking at me like, girl, you 28. Yeah, I am, but you know black don't crack. Listen, it's given 21, okay? If you ask me, it's given 21. But I did go to Panama City for my 28th birthday with my mom and my sister. If you guys did not see my Panama travel vlogs, I will link them down below in the end screen so you guys can catch up on those videos. But we had an amazing time, and I just wanted to sit here and talk to you guys all about our experience, what we did, where we stayed, things that I want you guys to know. So if you guys are planning a trip to Panama City, then you guys can, you know, have all of the tea, have all of the gems before you guys start planning your trip. So if you guys are interested in hearing all about my trip to Panama City, Panama, then go ahead and keep on watching. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to your girl's channel, turn on your bell notifications, because I provide you guys with consistent quality content, period. Give this video a big thumbs up, drop a comment down below, and without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So before we get started, I did want to update you guys on a few things. So first of all, I am going to be posting a Panama City blog post on my website. So in that blog post, you guys will see all of the additional information that I'm going to reference throughout this video. So additional restaurants, additional hotels, and all of that information will be in my blog post on my website, which will be linked down below. So make sure you guys check the description box and check that out if you guys want additional details based on, you know, research that I did or recommendations that I received while I was in Panama City. Second of all, today's a look, okay? Today's a lookity look. I still have my faux locks that I put in for my birthday. I'm actually taking them out right after I record this video, which is funny. But yes, these locks are done by my sister, hereby_Kimmy. I've had them in for over a month now, and baby, they still look good, okay? They still looking good even though my hair is going out. My makeup, I just did a simple beat. This is my no foundation makeup routine. I'm going to show you guys this exact makeup routine in a few videos to come on my channel. So when I do that video, I'll link it down below. So if you guys are watching this video afterwards, you guys can reference that video to see how your girl got this look, period. My skin is Kapari hyaluronic acid body butter. This stuff is so freaking good. I keep telling you guys about it. My lippy is my Kaja Gloss Shot Balm. I think that's what it's called, Gloss Shot. The Kaja lip gloss, girl. Earrings are ASOS. I purchased them a while ago, so I'll link something similar down below. And that is it for today's look. Now let's go ahead and get into the video. So I know this video is going to be kind of long because I was taking notes, and I'm like, damn girl, you have a lot to share. So I have all of my notes written down on my iPad. So if you guys see me looking down, that's what I'm looking at. So first things first, I wanted to tell you guys why I decided to go to Panama City for my birthday. So ever since I turned 23, 24, I don't remember, I've been traveling for my birthday. I've been to the Philippines, I've been to Cuba, I've been to Costa Rica. I went to so many places on birthday trips so far, and this year I wanted to do something that wasn't too far flight time wise, and also was like relaxing. Like I didn't want to be excursioned out. I wanted to explore, I wanted to have a good time. So I decided to go to Panama City, and when we booked it, the flights are super cheap. So I'm like, yeah, this is where we gonna go, okay? So that's why I decided to go there. Originally it was just my sister and I going, but we convinced my mom to come, and she had an amazing time. So I'm happy that we were able to convince her to come. So that is why I decided to go to Panama for my birthday trip this year. Next up, I wanted to speak about the flight. So for the flight, we ended up paying $280 round trip per person, which to me was not bad at all. The flight time is about 5 hours, and $280 wasn't bad, and it was $280 on Delta, baby, main cabin. So you were racking up on them sky miles, okay? Just a quick little tip: if you guys are traveling and you guys are traveling with Delta, make sure you book your ticket to main cabin, because if you book your ticket under basic, you will not get your sky miles. And it's probably like $30 more, which, you know, it may seem like a lot. Like $30 is dead a check bag, but at the same time, if you're getting your sky miles, you might as well book main cabin. And that's something that held me up for a while, because when I was trying to get my medallion status, I kept booking basic tickets, and I'm like, why is my sky miles not being reflected in my account? But Delta made changes where in order to get your sky 5 miles, you have to book at least a main cabin seat. So I just wanted to share that. So main cabin was $280 per person. The requirements to get to Panama was super easy, which was another reason why I selected Panama as well, because I don't like to speak about this on my channel. You know, don't comment about it because I'm just going to delete your comment. Your girl's not joke, so a lot of places were requiring that, and I'm like, I don't have that, I'm not getting that. So where can I go that does not require that? And when I looked at Panama, they only required a negative COVID test within 72 hours before your departure time. So I did do my COVID test at, what is it called? It's called, damn, I'll put it in the description box, but I showed you guys in my birthday, which video did I share with you guys in? I shared it in one of my prep videos. I'll link it up above because baby, the mind is just going. But I went to a place in the Bronx to do my COVID test, and you want to make sure when a flight says you have to have it 72 hours before departure that you get it as close to that 72-hour mark as possible, because baby, if your flight is delayed, they will curve you. They will say, hey, your flight, your COVID test is not within 72 hours of departure, so you cannot board the plane, and then you're going to be at that gate looking sick. So when it comes to COVID tests for trips, make sure you go into a place that has a fast turnaround time, and also try to get it as close to the 72-hour mark as possible. If you're based in New York, I have a cute little place for y'all to go to, and I'm gonna run it up my place because I do not need the results to be slowed down. Okay, if you live in the city, it's a central location. It's on 42nd Street and 8th Avenue. It's the Lab IQ tent that is set up outside of the Port Authority bus terminal, yeah, on 8th Avenue. I went there in my vlog that I showed you guys yesterday to just get a random COVID test, and I just wanted a rapid test. But when you go and you ask for a rapid test, they also give you a PCR test. So however your insurance, you know, gives you the best perks, go ahead and do that. But I know that my insurance still provides free COVID testing for PCR as well as rapid testing. So I was just like, y'all could go ahead and do both. But the PCR results came back in 8 hours. It came back in 8 hours. PCR results usually take at least 3 days, like especially with the spike of, you know, cases going up and stuff now. But baby, my PCR results came back in 8 hours, and my rapid test came back in like 10 minutes. So if you guys are looking for a place in New York City, it's a central location, so no matter what borough you live in, it's on 42nd Street. You know, that's central to all of us. Every train goes there, almost every train, so you guys can make a little commute, go there. You're probably going to the city anyway to run errands before you go on your trip. So yeah, 8-hour PCR results. I mean, what can you say about that? So after you get your negative COVID test, you have to go online on like Panama's embassy's website. I'll have a link down below. And you basically have to upload your negative COVID test results. And then after you upload your negative results to their website, it generates a QR code, and you basically have to submit that QR code to Delta's Flight Ready. Delta's Flight Ready program is basically a way for Delta to eliminate all of the documentation checks at the gate or at the airport. So you want to make sure you do that, and you want to make sure that you are cleared, because after you submit it, Delta still has to review it, and then after that is when you're able to check into your flight. So it may sound like a lot. It literally took me about 5 minutes to do everything. I had to wait for Delta to approve, and then when I got to the airport, I just had to drop off my bag and head to my gate, which made it super easy. Do not wait, especially if you're flying out of JFK. I'm telling you guys, do not wait until you get to the airport to try to, you know, show negative results and all of this, because baby, that line was crazy. I'm pretty sure our flight was empty going, because a lot of people missed the flight because they were waiting at the airport for their results and stuff to be checked. So make sure you do it via Delta's Flight Ready. I will have everything linked down below, so make sure you guys check the description box. But that is basically the flight details. So next up is, where did we stay? We decided to stay at an Airbnb just because Panama has some really nice Airbnbs. Like, the hotels were pricey and the Airbnbs were cheap, and the Airbnbs were fire. Okay, if you guys watch my vlog, then you guys know our Airbnb was fire. So we did the Airbnb. It was located in Costco. I think that's how it's pronounced. The old town of Panama. It was $813 for 4 nights, which was not bad at all. And here's some things I loved about the Airbnb. Okay, first of all, it was super secure. You had to basically get through 2 locked doors to get access to the building, and also you had to have a card to get into the building. So if you were not an Airbnb guest, because I believe all of the units in the building were like Airbnbs, but if you did not have a card, if you were not a resident of the Airbnb, you didn't have a card to get into the building. So I loved how secure it was. It was a located right next to the White House, so there was security outside every hour of the night, every hour of the day, so that also fed into the security. I'm just like, you know, God forbid something happens, somebody's around, okay? Someone is around, and I love that. The Airbnb we stayed at looked exactly like the pictures, if not better in person, so I was hype about that. And it was also conveniently located. Like, we were next to so many restaurants, and that helped because when we were ready to have breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever, we didn't have to pay for a cab each time to go to a restaurant. We literally walked. We had so many different restaurant options, so literally this was probably the most convenient Airbnb that I ever stayed at, and that says a lot because you guys know your girl travels a lot. But I know a lot of people are on the fence, like Airbnb, hotel. I've never stayed at an Airbnb. Is it safe? I gave you guys a whole video about how to find an Airbnb, so I will link that up above and down below. But those are just some tips that I use when it's time for me to book an Airbnb. Certain places that I go to, I prefer to stay at a hotel because, you know, you get the convenience of someone cleaning your room every day, especially if you're staying for like a long period of time, you know, new towels and all of that. But sometimes, not that that doesn't matter to me, but that's not my priority on a trip, especially when I know I'm going to be outside majority of the time and not spending much time in the house or at the hotel or in the Airbnb. So yeah, so Airbnb, if you guys want more tips, I will have that link down below. Some cons of the Airbnb, because baby, you know, everything that glitters is not gold, okay? First of all, we got there at like 2:30 and our check-in time was 3 p.m. So our plan was to go to the Airbnb, drop off our bags, go get something to eat, and come back, because we figured that, you know, the lady or the cleaning service providers will be there cleaning because there was a guest there before us. So we'll give them time. We just want to, you know, put our bags down, go get a little snack, a little body bite, and then come back and be able to check in. Baby, we came back at like 3:34. No, we came back at like 4:30. And when I tell y'all that that lady was still in the house cleaning, I'm just like, if we had something to do, if we had somewhere to go, what would we do? So literally we sat in a room, the bedroom downstairs, for about an hour as she finished cleaning, and then we noticed that she was just waiting for the sheets from the previous guest to finish drying. So we told her, like, sis, you could go, we got this, we just want the place to ourselves, we want to be able to move around freely. So she did exactly that. But the cleaning providers did take a while to clean, so I don't know if that's average, or, you know, sometimes in certain countries they don't have a reason to put a pep in your step, they're just so chill. So I don't know if Panama was that, but the cleaning lady took a while to clean. And our other complaint was that halfway through our stay we got new neighbors next door, and they were loud, they were drunk. And when I reread the description of the Airbnb, they didn't have any rules about noise. So if you are the Airbnb owner, because I'm gonna send this to them, I love sending them a little link with my review and stuff, my experience. If you are the Airbnb owner and you're watching this, then I would highly recommend to add like some type of noise rules, because it's just courteous of, you know, neighbors, people around. Like, when you're up at 2 a.m. trying to relax or read or whatever, and you have noisy neighbors, it's just an inconvenience. So yeah, but those are my only complaints. Other than that, the Airbnb was fine. Next up, we're gonna move into drivers, because you guys know when I do these videos, a lot of you guys come here and you guys are like, sis, who drove you around? How did you get around? Give us a tea. So first of all, Panama has local taxi drivers and Uber taxi drivers. Panama is one of those places, I'm gonna just say straight up front, that the local taxi drivers have beef with Uber. So when I go to places like that, I respect the local taxi drivers, because I get it. Like, you know, there's big companies coming in trying to steal your business. You've been driving taxi for how many years? It runs in a family, X, Y, and Z. I just personally respect local drivers over Uber drivers. If it's a place where, you know, the local drivers and the Uber drivers, they don't have no beef, they're one, you know, they mans, then I don't mind taking an Uber. But in places such as Panama, I'm just like, I'm gonna take a local taxi. My friend Suli had went to Panama a few weeks or a few months before I went, and when she was there, she was like, sis, I used this taxi driver, his name was Carlos, do you want his info? And I'm like, girl, of course. So we were speaking with Carlos, but he was not able to drive us around sometimes because he had, like, you know, pre-booked rides or whatever. So whenever that was the case, he did recommend us to one of his taxi friends. But overall, he was there to answer our questions, to give us like recommendations of places we could go, X, Y, and Z. So Carlos was absolutely amazing. He was such a great help on helping us save a coin and having a great time while we were in Panama. So if you guys want Carlos information, then please email me or DM me and give me time to respond. Give me like 2 business days to respond, because the girls' lives have been crazy. Okay, give me time to respond and I will definitely send his information over to you. Carlos does speak English and in Spanish. So if you're someone who doesn't understand Spanish or doesn't feel comfortable, you know, communicating in Spanish, he does speak English as well. And while we were there, sometimes we did meet like local random taxi drivers, like when we left the Panama Canal and other times. So when you guys email me or DM me for Carlos's information, I'll just send all of them so you guys can pick your poison, and I'll put like which ones speak English, which ones speak Spanish, which ones speak both, so you guys can have an understanding and you guys can have options, because I know sometimes, you know, some taxi drivers have the day off or whatever the case is, so I just want y'all to have options, okay? And as I mentioned, there is Uber service in Panama, but it's really hard to get a ride. They don't come to certain places, so it's kind of inconvenient if you really think about it, or at least in my perspective. But this other girl that I know was visiting Panama, she did use Uber, and she was saying the Uber rides were like $2 to $5. So if you're traveling on a budget and you don't care about, you know, the beef between the two and the two, then do your do. But in general, while we were using local taxi drivers, none of our rides were more than $25, including a tip. So I just wanted to put that out there, because you guys usually ask me like, how much did they charge for this, how much did they charge for this? The airport ride was $20, and to me, whenever I go places, the airport ride is usually the most expensive. So I'm like, I bet airport ride is $20, everything else should be, you know, less than $20, and it was exactly that. So just to give you guys a range on prices, please do not come to me and ask me for any specific prices for rides, because I honestly don't remember. But I just know that we did not spend more than $25 per ride, and that was including all three of us. We did not spend more than $25 per ride, and they charge per ride, not per person. I did want to say that as well. But that's all of my notes on drivers. Yes, we got it all. We got it all. Next, I want to move on to what did we do while we were in Panama City. So we did arrive on May 4th, and when we arrived, we went to lunch at Casa Costco. I believe that's what the restaurant was called. I think it went by another name on the menu, but it was Casa Costco. The food, I would say, was like a 7 out of 10. I got the chicken fingers, fries, and a passion fruit juice, because I'm like, this is my first meal. I want to play it safe. I want to see, you know, what things are hitting for. And things were hitting, okay? Things were hitting. It was good. The passion fruit juice was cool, but they put an aloe leaf in it. And I don't know if you guys remember in the vlog where I'm like, does it taste green to you? Because it just tasted like green. Like, I'm like, I've never had a passion fruit juice taste green. And I realized they had an aloe plant in it. So I wasn't a fan of that. So that turned me off, because, baby, if your drink is not hitting, you lose some points for that, okay? And we went to get dinner and drinks at Townsville Rooftop. That night, Kim and I went out, and my mom ended up staying in because she was tired. The food, I would say, was an 8 out of 10, and baby, the vibe, it was a 9 out of 10, okay? I ended up getting the Tantalo Hipster, which was like a beet and lentil burger patty, and it had like toppings on it, like mushrooms, caramelized onions. It was so good. The bun, everything about it was good. And I got fries, and we had lemon drops. That was Kim's first time having a lemon drop, and she loved it. So if you guys been watching my stories, if you guys been watching my vlogs, you guys know I'm lemon drop queen. If I could be anything besides a flamingo and a pair of sunglasses, I would be a lemon drop, okay? The lemon drops were really good. They're like literally hitting. The music was good. They had live dancers. You had a great view of the skyline. But I would just recommend that if you guys are interested in going to Tantalo Rooftop, that you guys make a reservation. We ended up walking in, but literally, if we didn't get there at the time we got there, there would not be a table for us. So I highly recommend making a reservation. But the music was diverse. They were playing, like, you know, Latin music, rap music, reggae music. Like, it was so diverse. I loved it. The vibe was amazing. Like, it was just such a beautiful place. And they also have like indoor dining and brunch. So if you guys are interested in like a late night, you know, drinking type of thing, then you can also go for brunch as well. But the restaurant is so freaking pretty, as you guys saw in the vlog. It's a vibe. So that was the first day. Day 2, May 5th, we went to lunch at La Fichiera, or La Fichiera. I still don't know how to pronounce it. But if y'all watch the vlogs, y'all know that was our restaurant. We ended up going here 3 times. The food was so good. The customer service was amazing. It gave like a nice luxe vibe, but not like, you know, too bougie. We loved it, okay? So the first day, I ended up getting the grilled snapper, potatoes, veggies, and a pineapple juice. And that meal, that's when I determined, I'm like, yeah, the food in Panama is nothing to play with. Now I see what all the girlies been speaking about when they say they went to Panama and they getting 10 pounds, because that's exactly what I did. Because the stomach, baby, she a little pudgy. But I would give the food at La Fichera a 10 out of 10 because it was so good. You guys saw we went 3 times. So that's all y'all should have to know, you know what I'm saying? Then that day we also went to the Panama Canal. In order to enter the Panama Canal, it's $10 per person, so we ended up paying $30. And the ships come in at a certain time. So in general, when you go to the Panama Canal, you're probably thinking like, what is the excursion like? What do you see? And basically when you get there, you see the ship pull up, and they tell you like, you know, history of the canal. They have like a little museum inside. They give you like details on the specific ship and stuff. So it's literally just like a viewing experience. It's nothing too crazy. There's also a separate excursion which I will include in my blog post, where you can like get in a boat and literally like drive next to the ship. So if that's something that's more exciting to you, then you can definitely go ahead and do that. But in order to do like the viewing like we did, it is $10 per person, and the ships do come at a certain time. So I think it was 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. and you have to be there by that time. You don't leave your house at that time. You have to be there at that time so that you can get like, you know, the full experience, seeing a boat pull up, hearing all of the information. So that's 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. I believe, but you can contact them in advance to see. I don't know if it comes at different times each day or different times during whatever season of the year, but I would highly recommend contacting them in advance to see. As I mentioned, they also had like a museum portion inside, but in order to go upstairs to like the viewing deck, you had to walk through the museum. But overall, the museum is closed because it's considered like a closed space, and because of like, you know, COVID restrictions, they can't have it open. But you literally have to walk through it to get upstairs. So as you're walking through it to get upstairs, make sure that you do your readings and you experience the museum. You know, just act like you walk slow, okay? Act like, you know, you need some extra time, because afterwards we tried to go back into the museum and they were just like, no, it's literally just to go upstairs. You cannot go in to actually view the museum, if that makes sense. So whatever. And they do have different viewing locations. So they have the deck at the bottom, they have one like midway, and then they have one all the way at the top. At first we went all the way to the top and it was so freaking crowded. I was just like, I can't do this. So we ended up leaving, and when we left, the lady told us like, you guys can also view it from down there. So that's when we went to the bottom, like the ground level, and we saw like, you know, the bottom of the boat and stuff. And overall, the whole experience doesn't take more than 30 to 45 minutes, depending on, you know, if you're gonna sit and read the museum or whatever the case is, but literally less than an hour. So if you're planning your day and you're like, you know, this is gonna be a full day thing, it's not. I'm telling you guys that all you need is an hour tops and you're good. So after we left the Panama Canal, we went to the Multi Plaza Mall, and baby, when I tell you that they have stores, they have stores, okay? They have Zara, they have Berkshire, they have Mango, they have Hermes, they have Cartier, they have everything, okay? They have all of the designer pieces, and I did hear that designer items are cheaper there. I didn't look because I wasn't buying, because you guys didn't know that after I bought my Jean Vito Rossi shoes, I'm like, I'm done with luxury items until Christmas time. So yeah, if you are looking to buy like, you know, a new bag, a new pair of shoes, and you're going to Panama, save your coins, and it'll be cheaper there versus buying it in the States and also having to pay taxes. I don't know how that goes because I didn't really buy too much, but yes. So they had so many stores at Multi Plaza Mall, so many different like restaurants, whether you want like fast food or whether you want to like sit down and have like, you know, a little fancy meal. They give you options. It's literally so huge, like you can deadass spend the whole day in there. And we ended up, I showed you guys what I got in my part 1 of my vlog. I got like, you know, a few items, nothing too crazy, just a little 1-2, you know what I'm saying? And then after that we had dinner at the mall in the food court, and then we went home. The next day was my birthday, day 3, May 6th, Taurus gang 28, 20 great period. So for my birthday, we had lunch at Moreria. I forgot how to pronounce it, but the food was an 8 out of 10. I ended up getting the seasoned fried rice, chicken, and a frozen fruit punch. Baby, that frozen fruit punch was a tea. It was so freaking good. Like literally, I wish I ordered 10. It was so good. It was so fresh. Like everything about it, I've been thinking about it since I came back because it was so freaking good. And then we ended up going thrifting at Joe K. Barato. It's a American thrift shop in Panama, but they had some good pieces. We went to the location at Plaza Carolina this day, and I would say that is less crowdy than the other location we're going to speak about in a few. And they did have additional markdowns on certain color tags. So if you had an item and it had a green tag, it was a certain % off. If you had an item and it had like the pink tag, it was a certain % off. So there's thrift shops in New York and in the US that mimic that same, you know, shopping pattern, but they had pieces. It was cute in there. We did get some things, so if you're into thrifting, especially thrifting internationally, I would highly recommend to check it out. And then we ended up having dinner at La Fisheria. This time I got the grilled salmon, and once again it was good. And we had dessert at, I think it was called gelato or gelito. I'll put it on the screen, and I also showed you guys within my vlog so you guys can see it there as well. But I ended up just getting a mixed fruit smoothie because you guys know I don't eat dairy and they did not have any vegan options, so I ended up just getting the fruit smoothie and playing it safe. The next day was May 7th, and this day we ended up having lunch at Murala. It's upstairs from the Casa Cascal place that we went to the first day. I would give the food an 8 out of 5 out of 10. I ended up getting the lemongrass chicken breast and french fries. It was good, but it wasn't like, it didn't wow me. Like, it didn't give me like I would come back a million times. Like, if I say I'm gonna come back, then that's an automatic like 9 out of 10, and then we built from there, okay? We also ended up going thrifting at Joe Que Barato, but this time we went to the one in San Miguelito. It was way more busy than the previous location that we visited, but they did have pieces as well, and they did have more sections. Like, they had a larger home section, a larger kids section. So if you have time, I highly recommend checking both of them out. They're about 10 to 15 minutes away from each other, so you can definitely hit both of them in the same day. And that day we also went to dinner at La Barrio, I think that was the name of it. I showed it in the vlog, but baby, that food was a 4 out of 10. That was our worst meal while we were in Panama. I'm just like, why did we come here? It was literally like bar food, and everything was just salty. And I'm not the type of person to complain about food being salty, but baby, that food was salty. I'm like, who had a heavy hand on the salt? Like, who's in the kitchen? Because they did such a bad job. The food was disgusting, but the vibe was good. They had a live DJ and all of that. Maybe it was good for like drinks, like alcoholic beverages. We didn't drink, so maybe that's what people go there for. But the food, it was a no, baby. So May 8th was Mother's Day. That was our last full day in Panama. We ended up having brunch at Maholo Cocina y Jardín. The food was a 9 out of 10. It's like a popular brunch spot, I guess you could say, but it's also like an aesthetic-y, pretty restaurant. So if you're into that, then I highly recommend it. The food was a 9 out of 10 besides the waffles. Baby, them waffles were burnt, but I guess that's just their style of cooking the waffles. I got the chicken and waffles. I got a stack of pancakes. I got the green ninja smoothie. Everything was good besides the waffles, as I mentioned. Once again, I highly recommend making a reservation because we made a reservation and we missed it, and we did have to wait for about 15 minutes. But make a reservation, make your reservation, because it is a pretty small restaurant and it is pretty popular. But yeah, as I mentioned, aesthetics, they had good customer service, they had lots of vegan options, which I really appreciated. I feel like a few restaurants we went to had like a good amount of vegan options. I'm not vegan, I'm not 100% vegan, you know, I dibble dabble in vegan pieces here and there, but I still eat chicken, I still eat fish sometimes ish. We still figuring it out. But yeah, if you're vegan, they have a lot of options for you. That day we also did our COVID testing to come back home. We ended up going to a drive-through location that Carlos recommended and actually took us to. That was our first time meeting Carlos during our whole trip. We were just like talking to him, and then the first time we met him was on May 8th when he took us to get our COVID test. So the test was $30 per person for the nasal rapid test, which is good to get you back into the US. You do not need a PCR test to get back into the US, although it is accepted. Maybe save your coins and just get the rapid test, okay? But if you do want to do the PCR test, is $70 or $75. I don't remember exactly. We received our results from our rapid nasal test within 20 minutes. Like literally, we got to the house and it was in my email. But they told us an hour, but it came quicker than that, just so you guys know. And then that night, guess where we went? Back to La Fishiera, and this time I got the grilled chicken breast and french fries, which was good. Like, that was our finale meal. We were just like, yeah, we're going to what we know. We're going to what we know best. We're going back to La Fishiera. So in general, if you go to Panama City, if you're in the old town, if you're going to the old town for at least one day, make sure you hit up La Fishiera because baby, the food was good. May 9th, we traveled back home, and I told you guys in the vlog, make sure you get to the airport early because they check your COVID test results again at the airport, even though you submit them to Delta to check into your flight to come back home. They still want to see a negative COVID test again when you are checking your bag in, so make sure you have that ready. Make sure you screenshot it because baby, there was limited Wi-Fi at the airport. I'm just like, what is this? What is this? So after we checked in, after we went through security, we were chilling at the gate, and all of a sudden Delta pulled up and was like, hey, you have to exit because we have to set up a separate security, which I'm aware that a lot of places, not a lot of places, but when I went to Haiti, they did that. Like, they had 3 different securities, including one specifically at the gate, which was monitored by the airline, which was Delta in this case. They were just like, we have our own separate security. Basically, we got to check everyone again to make sure y'all good before y'all get on our aircraft. So get out and you got to come back in. So we had to do that. It was kind of annoying because after you go in, you don't have any beverage, and it's hot as hell in that airport. You can't exit to use the bathroom, or else you have to go through their security at the gate again. It was pretty annoying, but you know, it is what it is. What you gonna do? So I did want to say that overall, I would say that safety wise, I felt safe in Panama. It was probably one of the places that I felt the safest that I visited. I've never done a solo trip before, but I could definitely see myself doing a solo trip to Panama. That is what my friend Sully did. That was, I think, her first solo trip. I'm not too sure, but I can definitely see people doing solo trips in Panama and why they do it, because it's just so safe. Like, everyone is so chill. I didn't meet anyone where I'm like, what you doing behind me? I gotta keep my eye on you. Like, granted, I'm still watching out for myself, but I didn't have to like overdo it, because I did feel safe in Panama in general. I didn't feel like anybody was out to get us, trying to steal money from us. If you guys watch my Bahamas travel guide, y'all know exactly what I'm speaking about, but I didn't get that vibe at all. So I was really satisfied in that area. So if you're someone who's scared to travel internationally because you're like, I don't know if I'm gonna feel safe, I don't know what it's hitting for, I definitely recommend Panama as like a starting location for international trips if you're new to this and you're not true to this, because it was a very welcoming experience. I will say that. I did want to speak about the currency real quick. So you do need cash if you're taking local taxi drivers, because they do not accept card. So we didn't have any cash when we went. We just went to the bank and took cash out. I bank with Chase, and when I went in the bank, they did charge me a $5.25 fee to take cash off of my card, just to give you guys, you know, information on that. The currency exchange is, I don't know, I still don't know how to pronounce it, which is bad, but the currency for Panama is like the I'm not even gonna try to say it, but there's a 1-to-1 conversion between Panama's currency and US dollars, which means that one of Panama's currency equals $1 US, just so you guys know. Mostly everywhere that accepted US dollars had changed, so it wasn't like, oh, you give them US dollars and you get change in their currency, baby. No, they had US dollars to give you back, period. And most places did accept card payment. Some places did charge a fee for using your card, like small souvenir shops and stuff like that, just so you guys are mindful of. But in places like that, we just use cash, because we were just like, you know, we have the cash, so we gonna use it. And yeah, so just some random facts about Panama. One, when we went, it was rain season, and literally the week before we left, I'm just like, I checked the weather because I was packing my clothes, and I'm like, oh, I'm about to skin out, bathing suit, bikini, woohoo, baby. No, it said 90% chance of rain every day with thunderstorms, and I'm like, what the freak is going on? Because it's not even raining in New York. Like, what is going on? So I was thinking about it, like, damn, should I go to St. Martin instead? But you guys know I've been to St. Martin before, and I really wanted to go somewhere new for my birthday. I love experiencing new countries for my birthday, so I'm like, I don't want to go back to St. Martin, but St. Martin is like my backup option. Do I cancel the flights? Like, what do we do? But baby, let me tell you. So May begins rain season in Panama, right? When you think rain season, you're thinking downpour, you're thinking lightning, you're thinking thunder, you're thinking you gonna need an umbrella each and every day. Rain season in Panama means that it rains at least twice a week, and you may be like, girl, that's not rain season, but it is to them, because when they're not in rain season, they get no rain at all. So getting rain twice a week is a big thing to them. So I did want to say that in case you guys are planning to go during the rain season, you see the forecast like thunderstorm, boom boom boom, do do do. It literally only rained one day while we were there, and that was it. So I did want to share that information because it was a little discouraging at first. But if you are someone who wants to travel between the months of their rain season, which I think is like May to October, just keep that in mind. It's regular rain, baby. It's just that they don't believe in a forecast. Their forecast isn't accurate. You literally just have to play it day by day, and that's why we didn't do any like beach excursions, because we were like, it's gonna rain every day. Why are we booking a beach excursion for $100+ and we don't know if it's gonna rain? But when we got there, we figured out what it was, and we were just like, damn, we could have actually booked a beach excursion. But whatever, it was what it was. I'll be back to Panama, so I'll be able to do that. And I did want to mention that the taxi driver did tell us that they are working on making a train from the airport to the downtown area, so that when you come, you can just get on the train and, you know, head to where you're going, whether you're staying in a hotel, Airbnb, or whatever. But that should be done in 2023, he mentioned. So if you guys are planning to travel in 2023, that is a means of transportation that you can use as well when it comes to getting from the airport to your hotel or Airbnb. But that is basically everything that I have. I sat here and I talked for a long period of time. Your girl is thirsty. That is everything about my Panama trip. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you guys check out my blog post. I will be posting on my website for more information, for additional tips, additional information. All of that will be in my blog post, because if I sat here and talked to y'all, we'll be here for an hour, and I'm pretty sure I gave you guys long enough content about Panama, okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, make sure you guys subscribe, turn on your bell notifications, give this video a big thumbs up. Comment down below and let me know what else you guys would like to hear about during my travel guide. So as we're going forward with more trips, which I am planning to go on, then I can give you guys the exact information you guys are looking for. Let me know, did I do a good job summarizing everything? Did I miss anything? Please comment down below and let your girl know. And until my next video, I'll see you guys later. Mwah.